Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, November 16th, and I am leaving PA, crossing the Mason-Dixon line, baby. Woo! I'm excited. Finally done with PA. I made it here yesterday and camped at a campsite just south of here that had a nice stream. Yeah. Took me 12 days to hike PA, so I was able to meet my goal of Meetin' Ladies Challenge, which was to do PA in, well, to average 20 through PA. I don't know what the average is, but 12 days is under 2 weeks, so it's got to be over 20. Yeah, feeling good. Man, I'm excited. Yeah, but I stopped yesterday. I had planned on going further. Sort of been the theme since I left Boiling Springs. But the water source was right there at that campsite, and the shelter, which was like 4.6 or something ahead of here, I kind of wanted to stay there. It said it was new, which sounded good, and it said 2 stories, which sounded good as well. It also had some words in the description that I didn't quite care for, like 0.3 side trail for water, and said it was steep. So, and I think it was like 4 o'clock when I was passing that campsite, so I would have gotten there in the dark and then had to do that steep side trail. So what I ended up doing was just making camp there. Plus, I bounced some things ahead that my dad sent me in the water gap. Bounced them ahead to Harper's Ferry. So I've got to go to the post office at Harper's Ferry, which means I have to be there on Monday. So I sort of am buying a little time. So I did, out of Boiling Springs, I think I did an 18 to Quarry Gap shelter. That is a nice shelter. The maintainer for that particular shelter, his trail name's the Innkeeper, and he really maintains that shelter like he is an innkeeper. There's I don't know if they rerouted the water source, but there's like rock work around the water source, so it kind of like runs through the campsite. They have like flower pots hanging. There's 2 different shelters for people to sleep in. I think it's 2 4-person shelters or something like that. And then in between the 2 shelters, there's like an overhang and a picnic table, and got checkers and crossword puzzles and like a stone-made sundial out front. All sorts of stuff. Picket fence. Yeah, I wrote in the shelter log, I was surprised when I went up to the privy and there wasn't music playing. But yeah, it was a nice stay there. That shelter was too nice to pass up the first day out, and then yesterday I stopped at that campsite. But I think I've got, so that would be, when I was in Boiling Springs, I said I had 70 miles to Harper's. It's actually like 80. It's like 77, I think. So yeah, I think the next 2 days I've got like a 15 and a 20, or somewhere in between for the 2 days. So, yeah, it's not too bad mileage-wise. A couple of decent days, and then I'll pull into Harper's, and so I'll sort of Nero into Harper's on Monday, and hit the post office, go to the ATC headquarters. Actually work out good because there are some people at headquarters that I wanted to stop in and say hi to. So it'll be good to be there on a Monday when they're actually there. So get my package, stop at headquarters, get my picture taken, and then there's a free hostel, I think ran by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. It's like 12 miles south of Harper's Ferry, so I'm gonna shoot for that. Try and stay there Monday night, and then I think it's 2 days to Front Royal, and I plan on going into Front Royal, doing resupply, and there's a burger challenge there that everybody keeps telling me about, so I think I might take a crack at that. Not too sure. I don't see any there might be a blaze. I'm at a park right now. I think this is the park that I saw in the book. It's called Penmar Park, right here after you cross into Maryland. It looks pretty nice, but I don't know that all the amenities you would normally have are available right now. That's a pretty cool little covered area right there with some picnic tables in there. That'd be a good place to sit and have lunch. Yeah, and that's actually the case with a lot of these parks. This time of year, you go through and you see they've got the different amenities, and then you get there and they're closed. So closed for the season. A lot of it's running water, like water fountains are closed. They close bathrooms. So yeah, anybody planning a late season southbound or flip-flop, I guess that'd be something you would want to consider. And a lot of these things that you can sort of start looking forward to won't be available. What else? PA. PA, yeah, you hear a lot of criticisms of PA, but I didn't much mind it. I don't think it was very strenuous hiking at all. It's rocky and technical in a pretty good amount of areas, but not a lot. Definitely under half of it is like super rocky. And when it's like that, you just really have to pay attention to where you put your feet. And there was some cool stuff too, like Baked Oven Knob was cool despite the graffiti. Oh, this is cool. Stop the spread of invasive plants. Use the boot brush. You got to get the potential invasive plant seeds off of our boots. It actually seems they've got it in like a aluminum container here, which you may not be able to see because there's a lot of leaves. But it looks like they may be collecting seeds, and they're going to take samples. Yeah, it seems like they're going to take seeds out of here, see what they can grow out of there, and just see how successful the boot brush is in getting the invasive plants off the trail or getting the seeds out of people's boots. That's cool. Little science experiment going on there. But yeah, I liked PA. I thought it was nice. You just kind of get up on those ridges and walk. You can see towns a lot of the time from the ridge. A lot of really nice shelters in PA. And I theorize, I mean, I don't know if this is why, but I feel like there's a lot of different trail maintaining clubs in Pennsylvania. I don't know how Pennsylvania compares to the other states as far as amount of trail clubs per mile, but it seemed like there were a pretty good amount of trail clubs, and you know, they don't necessarily have a lot of trail that they're maintaining. So it seems like those clubs that, you know, they have that one or two shelter section, they're going to make sure that those shelters are in really good shape. A good example would be the Allentown Hiking Club shelter. You know, you show up there and the water source is a pretty, well, there's two water sources, one of which dries up easily apparently. The other one's like 0.3 further, so it's at least half a mile from the shelter down a pretty steep hill. So it's like a mile round trip just to get water. You get there and it seems like the maintainer or club members, whenever they come there, they do a water run with some big jugs, and they've got water there for you. So things like that. With some of the other clubs, you may not see that because they've got sort of a much broader range of trail to maintain. So yeah. Oh, plus you got the the different enclosed shelters like Eckville and 501 shelter that are both really nice. You got cool stuff like the Jailhouse Hostel in Palmerton, which they don't charge you anything for, and you can stay there. So yeah, those different things allowed me to get good night's rest, and allowed me to do the miles that I wanted to do and get through the state in the amount of time that I wanted to do it. So yeah, definitely digging that. Palmerton. There was So Heavy and I were joking when we were at Eckville Shelter about some of the different signs that we saw in and around Palmerton. One of the funnier ones was on the local computer store, and they were advertising just computer classes, and their motto or marketing slogan was you know, it shows somebody helping somebody on the computer, and it says, "We'll never make you feel dumb, ... ever!" exclamation point. So we thought that was pretty funny. And then live bait vending machines, haven't seen that before. That may be a northern thing. I don't think you can pull that off in Florida. It gets too hot down there. But yeah, live bait vending machines in Palmerton was pretty cool. What was another one? Oh, there was a sign. I don't even know if it was a trailhead sign. It was just sort of on a board, maybe just in the woods. But it it said, "Hikers and hunters, pay attention to this." And it had 2 white blazes. One was nicely, perfectly drawn rectangle. The other was a squiggly, messy rectangle. Both were white. It says, "This is the," you know, near the nice one, it said, "This is the blaze for the Appalachian Trail." And below it said, this is the blaze for state game lands where hunters are allowed to hunt. Because a lot of the trail in PA runs through state game lands. And down below the messily drawn one, it says, "Know the difference." And there are tons of critical remarks on there about, you know, how for something so important, you think that they would make it a different color blaze. And then I thought it was the funniest comment of all was written down on the bottom next to the messily drawn one, and it says, "Go home, Blaze, you're drunk." That was a pretty funny sign. What else was cool in PA? The Knife's Edge is the Knife's Edge. You know, it's cool to go across big rock structures like that. The hike down into Palmerton's pretty cool too, because it's really rocky and you can kind of see town for a couple miles before you get in. Just south of Boiling Springs, there was a pretty cool little rock maze that you go through. I think that's what it's called. I think it's called Rock Maze or Boulder Maze, something like that. Yeah, all in all, enjoyed it, but I'm happy to be to Maryland. I've only got 2 days hiking here. Today, tomorrow, 3 days, I guess. And I'll be out of Maryland into West Virginia. And I think kind of crisscrosses in and out for a little bit, but yeah, I should be in Front Royal, Virginia. From there on the 18th. Should be to Front Royal, Virginia on the 20th, I think. Yeah. So, that being said, I'm gonna get to walking and or continue walking, and I will check in with y'all later.